Hey guys, Huzzy here bringing you another video and welcome to a Challenge to Spectate. And today we're watching MagiFelix, obviously one of the best EUS Challenger players, pros out there for mid lane. Again, this is the guy that had, I think at one time, 4 or 5 Challenger accounts in like the top 25 on EUS, which is just insane. The reason I wanted to watch him, again, he's not number 1 on EUS anymore, he's like top 5, which, you know, only top 5 Challenger. He's playing Ziggs, and I was like, dude, like Ziggs. Ziggs is not normally one of these like pro or like even top tier solo queue picks for like the basic reason. Meanwhile, Aurelia's being a bit overextended, Tamkench making her way, seeing if they can get a bunch of damage. Renekton coming over as well. Tamkench now getting himself caught out with a Nunu coming up the rear. Renekton starting stun. Tam is actually probably going to die. Never mind, not yet. Exhaust coming through. Renekton going to go down. Tamkench gets him, I guess, with the ignite. Aurelia now on the back foot. Alistair coming around. Have to be careful of Flash Q. MagiFelix reacts. The Zoe doesn't. Don't even know why there is a Zoe now. Tryndamere coming. Remember, this is a Challenger game. Ziggs in this whole instance, by the way, will be doing a lot of poke for level 1. And yeah, Challenger, everybody. That was a crazy fiesta. This is why I say this is like why you've got to take solo queue with a bit of like, you know, a pinch of salt of like, it's not the most intense thing in the world. Like that's crazy fiesta-y and just weird. What's Kayn doing right now? I've got no idea. There's a big fight happening over here now. Nunu gets a double root. Tamkench is going to die. Zoe's going to die. And there we go. Again, my prediction, why is there a Zoe bot? Because obviously, naturally, that is just not a thing. It's probably a Zoe one trick. Again, sometimes we have mentioned in these Challenger spectates that when people, meanwhile Kayn gets a couple or one kill, when people get to Challenger playing only one thing, they genuinely only can play that one thing. So if they're a Zoe one trick, they're playing Zoe in all 5 positions, probably, because that's all they can play. Anyway, crazy start to the game. Ziggs, out of all of that, only got 1 assist. The actual big person that got like the biggest situation out of that is Senna. Senna AD carry on the enemy team ended up with 3 kills from that situation, which is obviously fantastic for her. I have yet, obviously, the meme is still alive. I have yet to see a good Senna in one of my personal games. Again, maybe this one will do well, but I don't count watching a spectate of it. When I say that, I have not seen one of my team or the enemy team in the games that I'm playing in solo queue. Still haven't seen it. By the way, this matchup, Ziggs versus Aurelia. Aurelia is still somewhat scary to a lot of mages because she's got good... Hey, he missed a cannon. Even MagiFelix can miss cannons. But Aurelia's got, I'd say, good tower killing pressure on a lot of these solo mid laners. But really nice W by MagiFelix there. Got her into the tower and actually ended up getting the kill. That was wonderful to watch. Remember, that got buffed from Ziggs not that long ago. So that buff probably gave Ziggs that kill. But yeah, Aurelia does actually struggle against champions that have good, like, either poke or, like, control. And Ziggs has got minefields. He's got his W. That's pretty good control. And yeah, we just saw there that control of W. The mines landed a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Nunu on the back foot here with his sleep. Renekton gets the kill on Tryndamere, and that will get a kill on the Nunu. Both junglers seem to be struggling a tiny bit here or there. Again, the Nunu is spam pinging. Aurelia Ultimate is not ready yet. Good. That definitely was the reason that he's level 2 and died, I feel. But yeah, first base for Ziggs. He's going to pick himself up a... What is he going to get? A dark... Okay, so it's going to be a Dark Seal and mana and armor. Interesting. Very interesting. Like, I would have probably predicted... You know, before this, it would have been like, oh, Dark Seal and Corrupting Potion. That's really good. Especially against melee champions. But no, he's gone for that. Which I guess is a combination of Seekers and then the Lost Chapter. That's my guess. Other than that, I don't know what he would really be doing. I doubt he's going Ninja Tabby. Worth mentioning, the enemy team comp is full AD. Again, Nunu in solo queue doesn't ever go AP, so it's not even worth mentioning. But yeah, Aurelia misses her stun just. Ziggs actually taking a bit of damage, but is worth the damage with the exhaust. Nunu in the area. Level 4, though, shouldn't be that scary. They're going to go straight on the MagiFelix. Oh, he did die that time, but another good W. Nearly surviving. Kayn versus Nunu at this stage. And Kayn will probably just take the farm, push it in, which is probably an okay thing to do. So Kayn is gaining a further advantage over the Nunu in terms of XP and farm and gold. So that's not too bad. And what I would say is, naturally, Aurelia is quite scary throughout the game, but the later the game goes, I would actually get less scared of an Aurelia playing Ziggs, because when your mines are stronger and Aurelia has to basically walk through them or walk on top of them to get to you, she's just going to take a buttload of damage and she can't avoid it. So yeah, like, if Ziggs just doesn't let the snowball happen right now, I think Magifelix is just in a great position. Meanwhile, top lane, you saw Tryndamere kill the Renekton. This, by the way, is the replay I'm watching, is current patch. So this is the top lane buff patch that the Titanic Hydras, the Hydra items have been buffed, Bork has been buffed, and my prediction in the patch note video was basically 2 of the champions that I said in that video are in this game. Tryndamere and Renekton both have been indirectly, well, not even indirectly, they've been buffed. Jax has been mega buffed. A lot of the top laners that I enjoy actually have been buffed. So, and again, on my main account, we've been recovering the account a bit. I am playing top lane again. I've just kind of accepted top lane is probably my best role when I'm like wanting to climb well. So I'm just playing top. I've just kind of given up wanting to do other things at the moment, and it has been working. We got back to Diamond 3, or not back to Diamond 3, it's actually the highest rating I've been in Season 10, as crazy as that sounds. Anyway, Ziggs going to go for pushing. Now, one thing I will say I'm very interested in, whenever I play Ziggs, and obviously it is a pick that I play occasionally, I max W second, and so many people are like, Huz, why are you maxing W second? I like it a lot because I like the tower pressure that it gives a Ziggs. But I'd be interested to see what Magifelix does this game. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if you max E second against an Aurelia or a melee champion, because the mines obviously have a lot more strength to them when someone has to like walk directly on them when they're melee. So it wouldn't surprise me if he maxes E second, but it would be just kind of interesting to keep an eye on it. Worth noting, remember, and this may be why Magifelix is playing Ziggs on current patch. Like, today, I'm recording this on patch day, and straight away he's playing Ziggs. Doesn't normally play Ziggs, Magifelix. It possibly could be because of the towers. Towers just got... It's technically a nerf to the towers, but it's a buff to the players. They're a lot easier to kill. It's a lot better to get tower plates early. They give more gold. And what is a champion that is really good at taking tower plates? Even in the early game, Ziggs. He's a beast at it. His passive, his auto attack passive is really good at taking tower plates. So maybe he's like kind of experimenting. This could be a good pick now. Possibly. Right, tower, big play happening bot lane. Decent-ish ultimate. I think it does a bit of damage, but other than that, nothing. And yeah, so the enemy bot lane is just straight up owning. I'm going to be honest, even I would prefer having a Senna over a Zoe in bot lane. To me, that's just pushing it a little bit too far with like probably something. Like, I could guess, I could check right now. Like, my guess is that it's a one trick, but I could be wrong. Hang on, why is it not... Again, when I'm tabbed out, I want it to like follow. At least you guys can see what's happening. But yeah, my prediction would be it's a one trick. But we'll see. It should be pretty easy to find. It is... Is it this game? I think it's this game. Yeah, it is this game. It's literally a game. He played this 16 minutes ago of me recording it. I'm that, like, on point. All right, so... Okay, that's really weird. So it's not a Zoe one trick. It's a Senna main. It's a Senna Aphelios main. So, but they do play Zoe. They played 8 games of Zoe. They don't generally do very well on it. But yeah. So I guess Aphelios probably got banned because that champion should never be let through in solo queue. And the enemy team took her main of Senna. So they picked Zoe bot. That is so weird. Again, this is why... Yes, challenger players are great, but this is why you don't copy them, like, without knowing or randomly copying them, because it's not always the best thing to do. Dragon is being done. Oh, you hate to see it. Oh, that's a bad situation. Anyway, you throw... Oh, God. So, Kane doing Dragon at a questionable time. Doesn't have his Tam Kench tanking it for him. Aurelia gets a kill, and she steals the Dragon in the same exact motion. Enemy is trying to dive the bot lane. That's how confident they're feeling and how weak, I guess, they are as Zoe and Tam Kench. Again, I don't know what the strength of that lane is. Will mention, so this game is going pretty bad for Red Team right now. They're 2,000 gold behind. They got the first Dragon stolen. They've got a Zoe bot lane. Remember, when we do these replays, it is for a reason. And I can just say right now, the damage... the only thing that I looked at when I looked at this game was the damage graph. The damage graph was scary at the end of the game of how much damage Magifelix did. So that's what I'll say is, yeah, like, something must happen for that to happen. Because right now, like, yeah, I'd say Magifelix is doing fine, but he's 20 farm behind. He's doing okay against an Aurelia because, in essence, you know, you're not genuinely going to beat an Aurelia as Ziggs in the early game. It's survive against her and then just don't let her snowball. And that's just the way that you have to play the matchup. Certain champions are like that. If you're against a Renekton in top, it's kind of the same principle. Anyway, so what I will say and what I'm taking from this, I actually like the exhaust. Not really thought about that too much, but it actually makes sense. Champions like Aurelia are all in champions. They're going to tower dive you if they have any opportunity. They're going to try and run you down. Exhaust does a lot. So if they're diving you, exhaust them. That gets rid of their momentum. That slows them, so the tower hits them more. So I really like the idea of exhaust, and that's something that I've not really done myself. And yeah, so like that's something that I'll definitely take away from this game. Bit of a fiesta though. Renekton, I think, did TP down bot lane, got himself a kill. That leaves Tryndamere in top, obviously not taking teleport this game, but you are leaving a Tryndamere top lane to take, again, remember how quick you take tower plates now. He's about to get his 3rd solo tower plate, so that's 160 gold times 3. I can't be bothered to do the math, but that is a lot of gold. And you're leaving him to farm. Like, genuinely, that's not a very good idea, especially with the top lane buffs of the Tiamat items are buffed. Bork is buffed. That's going to be a strong Tryndamere just with those 2 items. So, again, is it even worth Renekton TPing bot lane? Yes and no. If the play you manage to do something with it, then sure, it's worth it. But is your 1 kill that you got in bot lane from teleporting worth letting Tryndamere have a kill and a half worth of gold from tower plates and now catching up in farm? Questionable. And it does also seem, by the way, that they have lane swapped, which is a bit odd. Maybe the Renekton feels that he already has fallen off compared to a Tryndamere, which is definitely possible. And obviously Aurelia scales better than a Renekton. So yeah, they have officially lane swapped. The problem being, Aurelia I don't even think will be able to do anything versus this Tryndamere, by the way. And I also don't think Renekton will be able to do anything to a Ziggs. So I think all round this is a pretty bad situation for blue team. And this is, in essence, the problem that is picking a melee AD mid laner. Is sometimes you do put your team a little bit in a box of, like, we're getting outscaled here. And you're trying to get the early leads. You should try to... And they've swapped back, apparently. But you're trying to get the early leads. You need to snowball the game because inevitably you're going to get outscaled. You just are. That's just team comps. And obviously, we've said it before... Where do team comps matter the most in League, in solo queue, and all that is high rating. Because in high rating, all these players are generally fantastic players when they're playing things that they know how to play. So the one big difference that makes, what makes the difference between each team is the comp. That is the difference. Really nice W into a mine. And yes, he is maxing E second, by the way. So Magifelix is maxing his mine second, which again doesn't surprise me. I probably would max mine second if I was against a melee champion, but against mage champions, meanwhile, you can see Renekton is like switched off from top lane. Like, his tower got killed, Tryndamere is still top lane, and Renekton's roaming to mid because he knows he is gone. So even though that, yes, there are some good buffs for top laners, it doesn't stop scaling. It doesn't stop a Renekton just getting owned in scaling. Got to be really careful with positioning there. Again, Renekton desperately trying to get anything that he can. Enemy team actually could be in trouble here. So Kayn is in the back mark. Both really low health. Ziggs ultimate comes through. Bunch of damage already with her her ultimate coming through. Enemy team is actually having a disaster. The mines of Ziggs just absolutely cleaned up. And that will be a near ace. Nunu didn't get involved, but it wouldn't have made much of a difference. Meanwhile... Ta-da! This is a nightmare situation for red team, and I can definitely see now how they're going to struggle. Like, Senna, no matter how, whatever you like the pick, you don't, it's not a hyper carry AD carry. It's never going to be. So in that type of situation, yeah, if you maybe had a Vayne or a Lucian or something that has a lot more mobility and, like, quick damage, maybe you could have turned that a bit. But Senna's very slow. She needs more calculated plays than, like, really fast team fights. And Senna just isn't going to give you that carry potential. So this is a nightmare, literally a nightmare for blue team. And I could kind of, if I'm honest, even if I didn't know the result of this game, if you said, like, okay, predict how this game is going to go, you can pretty easily guess based on team comp. If the enemy team doesn't win this game by, I'd say, at maximum 20 minutes, they're going to lose. Even though, and people say, but they don't, one team is an AD carry, one doesn't. True, but like you caught Tryndamere in that kind of role. And yes, he's not a ranged AD carry, but like he is a hyper carry AD champion. And you've got Kayn, so I don't know, man. I think blue team is in a world of pain right now. Senna going to try and escape, does get knocked up by the Kayn W, which by the way did get buffed. They will kill the mid tower. Renekton, by the way, in mid lane again. It's like he is allergic to top lane now. And Tryndamere now making a little bit of a roam play. Not really sure why. I guess him roaming, or him being top lane now, might be a bit too overextendy. Renekton completely caught out, trying to make plays happen that just aren't quite there. And he will end up dead, which is pretty bad. Ziggs is going to return to mid lane. And I'm just going to quickly check on this Renekton and see what type of player he is, because I'm interested. Oh, interesting. So I'm not sure if can I find out what were the bans of this game? So this Renekton is a Fiora one-trick. Obviously, another thing that is quite common, not other than one-tricks in this rating. Good damage, by the way. Probably going to be a dead Senna. Maybe not, actually. No, he actually got rooted. He should be fine, though. Another thing that is quite common, getting into Tier 2, is these players, you have to imagine, know each other. They've played with each other for years. It's the same players. What is this Nunu doing? He's going to get the kill, apparently. Good flash. So a lot of them have each other on their friends lists, and when you see so-and-so online or so-and-so, that Fiora one trick is in Champion Select and they're not on your team, but you're in the same rating and you're in Champion Select too, it's an easy ban, right? Like, you just ban Fiora. I don't know if it was banned this game. I don't know if I can find that information out right now. But, yeah, because otherwise I don't know why you wouldn't play Fiora if they legitimately are a challenger Fiora one trick. That doesn't make much sense. Anyway, enemy team going to go for an engage. Renekton in the middle. Tamken's trying to do his best surviving while Ziggs is actually doing a lot of damage. With a nice W, flash over the wall does the Tamken, and that will be the end of that. I honestly think maybe that fight could have been continued. Ziggs has enough mana to maybe get one of those kills. Was a bit surprised they, just backed off completely. But again, better be safe than sorry, I guess. So far for Ziggs, by the way, I think Ziggs has done pretty good. As we mentioned earlier, he's never looking to win lane versus an Aurelia in the early game. Farm-wise, he's not too far behind, which is fine. Tower-wise, he's got 2 towers in mid. They're both gone, and obviously Ziggs' tower pressure is great to that, so I'd imagine his gold is looking pretty good. Again, gold-wise, yeah, look at that. He's nearly 1,000 gold ahead against an Aurelia, who has a lot more farm than him. So that is a testament to his tower taking and stuff. So overall, yeah, Ziggs seems to be pretty good with now the new tower nerf. Technically, that's a buff for us. We get more gold from them. And yeah, if you just play patient, the exhaust, I think, has worked really well. Definitely saved him and given him a kill here or there. So I don't know. I like it. I like it quite a lot. Nunu may be looking for a gank again. The problem with replay files, well, actually Ziggs is going to get caught. Will he be able to W away? Probably not. He's going to just go for a full combo, deal some damage, but die. That was tunnel vision right there by MagiFelix. Again, happens to challenger players. He did see quite a few seconds before the snowball from Nunu coming, but just didn't react because he was looking ahead. Tryndamere is obviously now a Tryndamere. Got that buffed up Blade of the Ruined King, and he will now fight the Nunu with his ultimate up. Not even actually his ultimate up. Now Alistair, the whole enemy team, all 5 people are bot lane, but Tryndamere takes down 2 of the enemy team before he dies. That's pretty damn impressive. And yeah, again, I'm not a massive fan of Tryndamere as a champion, but I'm not going to hide away that his strength in the 1v1 and even 1v2, right now on current patch, you cannot ignore. It's very good. So while all 5 of the enemy team went bot lane, really good play by red team bot lane, take the base tower. They've opened the enemy base at 19 minutes. That's a bit rare to see. Really good, though. Again, that's where you look at a mistake that the enemy team is doing, committing all 5 to bot lane when they don't need all 5 in bot lane. Tryndamere was already dead. And they just completely blow away pressure, and what you get from that is, boom, the tower's gone. So that is one. A mistake has happened in Challenger, which, again, is... Mistakes do happen, but what is the bigger thing with Challenger, and people have always asked me, what's the biggest differences in ratings? Not that mistakes don't happen. Obviously, mistakes are rarer in this rating, but when a mistake happens in Challenger, it is punished way more. That's the big difference. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the enemy team is doing Baron. They are spam pinged, probably because they see the Kayn fighting in bot side. And yeah, I think they're attempting to do Baron. Aurelia is actually popping off in a 1v3, but Tryndamere hasn't been involved yet. Zoe getting caught. Enemy team has stopped doing the Baron at this point. Nunu going to try and do some damage onto the Zoe. Alistar goes for a double combo. Exhaust coming through just to stop a little bit of the Nunu damage. Zoe goes down. Now the enemy team is on the back foot though. Tryndamere and Ziggs with the Kayn. They're going to be able to probably clean this up. Alistar will go down, but again, a lot of this, look how tanky this Alistar is being. Really nice. Tryndamere going to continue his aggression. Look at that crit. Really nice. Ziggs going to try and stay as safe as he can. Renekton flashes on top of him, kills him. They will finish off the Senna. And that will be overall the fight. Again, very Fiesta-y for this rating, I'd say. But I've always said it, I like highlighting that even in this rating, it is an absolute mess. Solo queue is not coordinated play. These players aren't talking to each other. It's solo queue. It's about individual play, and that does make for mess. So yeah, Dragon is up, which I presume the Nunu is doing right now or looking to do. Doesn't look like it though, because again, the replay file is bugged, so we get to see the Nunu snowball, even if we don't have vision of him. But the more this gets delayed, I'd actually say the worse for blue team, because it's giving red team time to get back here. They should try to hyper force this right now with the Nunu when Kayn isn't there. Looks like they are doing it. Would be surprised if Tryndamere doesn't go for this, but yeah, he's not going to. Obviously, Nunu with his Q and his smite right now has close, I'd say, to 2,000 execute range on a minion or a dragon or whatever. So that's obviously near impossible to contest. Tryndamere should go bot lane and split push. No one can take him on in a 1v1 right now. And the rest of red team, probably top lane, or even Tryndamere should go top lane. You know, they should abuse the fact that they've got an open base in top. Alright, Senna being not caught, nearly though. She actually did get caught there. Ziggs ultimate coming through, going to force the Senna to walk right. So that's why sometimes you overshoot it to force the enemy team to have bad positioning. Senna again doing some damage, but nothing incredibly impressive. For an AD carry at this point. Tryndamere doing a bit of tower diving. They're going to kill the Nunu. Kayn going to continue. Tryndamere with his ultimate up. Is he going to survive? They're getting booted into the tower. Senna will now go down. Alistar actually arguably killed her. Aurelia coming a bit late into the fight. Ziggs was just killing the tower with the Renekton having pressure on him. Ziggs will then help finish off the kill. And in the time, Renekton was just back here. I don't know what the hell happened to the Renekton. That's just complete mispositioning because he wasn't in the middle of the team fight. Maybe he killed the Zoe, maybe? I don't really know. Maybe he killed the Zoe. But let's be honest, the Zoe is not the carry of this game. So if Renekton is focusing Zoe, that is the wrong move. He should be definitely focusing, like, just stopping the Tryndamere is quite important. And again, Ziggs is one of those weird champions that will be dealing a buttload of damage, but you're not really realizing it because, like, you don't sometimes in the middle of a team fight, you're not noticing, oh, you're stepping on a mine or you're getting hit by one of his Qs. It's very easy to not notice that, and it does add up. Again, Baron is something that they should be careful about, red team. It's a Nunu. Whenever there's a Nunu comp, that you know why that player picked Nunu. Spoilers, they're doing it for objectives. That is like the sole reason you're picking Nunu jungle. Nunu has no other strength other than objectives. He's not ganking wise. There are way better ganking junglers. There are tankier junglers. There's more damage junglers. But the one thing that Nunu has is objective control. Again, no other jungler, like I guess Cho'Gath might come close, but again, Cho'Gath isn't very good. Nunu is the best modern-ish, like you can play him and get away with it. You can't get away with Cho'Gath at this rating. He's too slow. You can get away with Nunu though. Anyway, so fight, maybe, I don't know, is something going to break out? Zoe in trouble. Again, I don't know why Zoe's by herself in top lane farming. Doesn't make much sense. Tahm Kench's top lane just to try and slow the Aurelia, I would presume. Is actually doing a good job. This Aurelia should know the whole enemy team is on the way. Kind of weird that they overstayed like they did. She's ulting, and she's dead. She even tries to flash, which is very odd. And now the enemy team is on the way. Tryndamere not getting focused at all. The Tahm Kench just gets wham-bammed. Renekton ults really early. Big Ziggs ultimate with good damage. Kayn on his way. Tryndamere not dead. With his ultimate is going to be healing. Messes up and doesn't press Q, so he didn't get the healing in time. Ziggs, by this whole time, again, background carry easily. He's not being paid any attention to. So he gets the Senna. He then will now kill the Nunu while missing a couple of shots here or there. The enemy base is actually taking a whacking from super minions, but Baron is definitely the call. But if you watch all these teamfights again and again and again, the reason why Ziggs had the most damage this game, by actually quite a bit, is because every fight he's not being focused. So he's just getting a lot of his combo down. Like, he's getting, I'd say, 2 or 3 full rotation of spells off per fight. And what I mean by that, 3 Qs, 3 mines, 2 or 3 Ws off. That's like thousands of damage that is basically going ignored by the enemy team every single fight. You can't do that, especially to a Ziggs. Again, the enemy team is full AD, they're kind of tanky, and yeah, a Leandres is going to be burning you. It's just not good to completely ignore him. And obviously, the reason why he's getting ignored is the same principle of like why Xerath can get ignored. Is their damage isn't obvious and they're usually pretty safe. They're in the back. They're throwing things from far away. You're likely going to focus a Tryndamere or a Kayn a lot more that is right on top of you, obviously, naturally. But you can't... Yeah, you've got to just play it well, basically. Like Renekton and Aurelia both don't need to be on Tryndamere or Kayn. Maybe one of them should, and the rest of them, or Renekton, could go on the Ziggs, or someone could stop the Ziggs. Senna getting caught, Ziggs ult comes down, does a bit of damage, Renekton, so this is the point, this is who he should be focusing, and Ziggs just deals with him really quick with a W and just walks away. Kayn gonna try his best to do a bunch of damage, he is a little bit in trouble here, but obviously Tamkins just goes hump, does eat him, Kayn gonna try and get away, Renekton is still desperately trying to kill, look, flashing, the Mines is going to stop the Renekton. Aurelia is going to go down with a Tam. And yeah, so this fight, I'd say the Renekton did the correct thing, but just completely was getting outplayed. Never could actually get to a position to kill. Enemy team is going to be clumping up, and this is a Ziggs' wet dream. Look how much damage is being done from a relatively safe position. Gets a kill or Renekton. Nuno now in the middle of the fight. Senna. Really nice W by Ziggs, gets himself a double kill, gets himself 8 kills total, and Zoe will finish off the Alistar, and that is now most likely the game. So, do I think Ziggs is better right now? Yes, I do. With the tower pressure and stuff, I think he is a genuine pick. Do I think he's ever going to be mainstream? Probably no. Again, the problem with Ziggs is every single one of his abilities is a relatively hard to use skill shot. If you muck it up a little bit, it goes a long way. There are easier champions to play than Ziggs and pull off kind of the same job. And that is in essence why Ziggs has never been... Well, he's been mainstream occasionally when his stats have just been too strong. But if his stats aren't too strong, he'll probably not be mainstream. But I think it is a good sign. If you like Ziggs or you like the idea of Ziggs, I definitely think you can play him right now to pretty damn good success. And again, the exhaust, again, if you get anything out of this video, Aurelia to me has always been a bit of an iffy matchup when I'm playing like a squishy mage. I don't know why. I never thought of, like, exhaust. It's a great idea. It's a fantastic idea. It stops a lot of their diving pressure and even can allow you to kill them if they do dive you too. But that's going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, again, worth noting that Ziggs did the most damage in this game by quite a fair margin. I think it was like over 5,000 damage. Throw a like on it. Throw a subscribe. Let me know what champions and stuff you want to see in upcoming Challenge Spectates. But that's it. Like, subscribe, comment down below. See you guys next time. Peace.